I hope it works out for him. Of course I do, because he's given Liverpool club and the fans and myself so much pleasure in seeing some of his passing skills, some of his goals. He's been outstanding, and he's a local lad. It's just that's where it gets tarnished a little bit, because you're a local lad, you're a Liverpool fan, and then you go somewhere else, which is it's happened in the past to other players. But the other players who left Liverpool were not bored Liverpool fans, to be honest. They were Everton fans, and they know who they are, and I know who they are. But with Trent being from West Derby down the road here and going to games, and Steve Gerrard was his favourite, it just leaves, it'll leave a bitter taste in some people's mouths. But you've got to see long term what he wants, and you've got, as I said, you've just got to thank him for what he's done and wish him all the very best.
There's been talk of the three who are out of contract all season. If I was to ask you at the start of the season that you keep 2 out of the 3, would you be happy? Are you happy with the 2 out of the 3 that they've kept? But also, is there perhaps an accusation at the kind of management side of Liverpool is you should never let those 3 players get to the final year of their contracts?
It's based on the model. Our owners have been brilliant for what they've got the club into. The new ground. We've won the league a couple of times. Won the odd thing. You can't knock them. But it's obviously the model, the way they see it. I'm a dinosaur. I'm old-fashioned. You never let the players get in the strength of a position, and the agents in particular, because there's only going to be one winner. And when you see the advantages they can get on a free transfer, what's the value of Trent? 80, 90 million. He's going to get a large portion of that for himself, probably offshore, tax-free. And that's the benefits. Whereas if a couple of years ago you give him, a good pay rise, he'd have still been under contract for another 2 or 3 years. And, there's no problem then. But once you let it go out and let it drag on, the agents will always tell them to not sign, because it's in the agent's interest as well to make more money. They make more money, the agents, when the players go to other clubs. If they stay at the club and get an extended contract, they get pittance compared to what they can get when they leave for another club.
OK. There's talk that Liverpool need to sign a new left-back. It was interesting at Stamford Bridge yesterday, Conor Bradley's name being sung by the travelling Liverpool fans. Is he the heir apparent, or are Liverpool looking for 2 full-backs this season, one at left-back and one to replace Trent?
Yeah, it's a big question, isn't it? I think we were very fortunate to have Conor Bradley, come through the ranks and show us this season what he's capable of doing. He could be a star. He's got everything that you want. He made the difference at Chelsea yesterday when we were very poor. He come on and lit up the right-hand side, causing problems going forward. I think he'll score more goals than Trent. Whether he gets as many assists, that's debatable. I certainly hope so. He's a very good defender. So his all-round game is excellent. And for me, he'll slot in there nicely. But then, it's with Joe Gomez. Unfortunately for Joe, he's been a bit injury prone over the years, and he's come in and he's been a great squad. And if he was to leave, then that leaves a big hole right across the back four, because he can slot in anywhere. So there's a lot of thinking to be done by the manager and the club of what we require. Ideally, another Joe Gomez, someone who can slot in, for Robbo or Schmikas or Connor, or even go into centre half. But there's not many of them about, is there?
No. What I'm hearing, though, John, is the future looks rosy, a bit like your back garden, which looks absolutely magnificent, my friend. Thanks very much for your company.
Rob, it's lovely to speak to you again, mate. Take care.